There is one more person that I want to introduce you to that is my samples of the thousands of movies that we've been able to make over the years right here at Universal Studios. Part of the reason we've been able to make so many movies is because we've been open for over 100 years. In fact, it's been about 107. We opened our doors March 15th of 1915. Since then, we've been churning out movies and we've become our very own city. If you look to the right, you're going to see our first indication that we are a real city. That is a real fire station, Fire Station 51, with real firefighters putting out real fires in and around the Universal City area. It's just as real as our gym, our laundromat, our city name, our city zip code. You can see where I'm going with this, right? We have everything a normal city would have, but what sets us apart from other cities is the fact that we are dedicated to motion picture making. So everything in filming can happen right here in a completely self-sufficient lot, from beginning to end. From having your idea for a movie, all the way getting it edited together, all the way through getting it edited together and distributed to audiences around the world can happen right here in our completely self-sufficient lot. And now we have made it to the lot. We're almost down to the end of the timeline. You're going to start seeing a lot of these kind of big warehouse-looking buildings. These are what we call sound stages. That is Soundstage 12 on the left-hand side there. Now, Soundstage 12 is one of the oldest and largest sound stages that we have here on the lot. You can see that Dracula and Frankenstein both filmed inside of Soundstage 12 if you're looking at your screens, and those both date back to 1931, right? So, just goes to show how old that soundstage is. Good morning! It's also big enough to fit a full-size T-Rex in, like we did for Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. It's one of the largest sound stages we have. If we would have made a left-hand turn at the bottom of the hill there, we would have headed straight toward Soundstage 1, which is where Kelly Clarkson films her television show, The Kelly Clarkson Show. On the right-hand side is some construction. This construction actually has nothing to do with the studio. This is theme park. This is actually where in 2023, Super Nintendo World will be, which is pretty exciting stuff. I'm very excited for Super Nintendo World, y'all. Very, very excited. It's back. It's going to be here, I should say. On the left-hand side, you're seeing some more sound stages. You can actually see inside of Soundstage 21 as we pass there. These sound stages have been used for television shows like Bel Air with Jabari Banks and Cassandra Freeman, which is a Peacock television show. Peacock is NBC's streaming service. Superstore also filmed in these sound stages, as well as Soundstage 21 just there on the left-hand side.
I know it's hot in here, but let's have some patience for one another.
Yeah, you know, the heat makes us all act.
If your face stays where it is, it's gonna get punched.
Superstore starred Ben Feldman, America Ferrera, Colton Dunn, Laura Nash, Mark McKinney, Nico Santos. It was an amazing cast of comedians. It filmed here for about 6 seasons or 6 years, and then about a year or so ago, they decided to retire the show. Once Superstore moved out of these 3 sound stages, a television show called Hacks moved in. They're currently on hiatus right now, but that's what was filming most recently inside of these sound stages. Hacks is an HBO Max television show. It stars Jean Smart. You might remember her from Designing Women in the 90s. And it's a comedy about comedians. It is such a good show. You guys actually binged the whole first season in 2 days. And I'm not too ashamed to tell you that. It's so good. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already. So Soundstage 21, you saw how large it was, right? Because of its size, we were able to turn it into Mission Control for Ron Howard's Apollo 13. Which starred Tom Hanks. It was also used for some scenes in Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park back in the early 90s, and it was used for 7 seasons of the Mindy Project, which was created by and starred Mindy Kaling. So you're going to see a lot of sound stages on our front lawn. That's where we are right now. And the reason we have so many sound stages is because when we're filming, we like to have control of all aspects of our atmosphere. Inside of these sound stages, we can do just that. We can control the sound, the lighting, the time of day, the time of year, where we are in the world, when we are in time, right, what era we might be in, and any weather effects we might decide we want to use. So we can build entire worlds in these sound stages and control all aspects of those worlds. The sound stages we're passing right now, 42 and 43, are being used for a television show called Never Have I Ever. On your left-hand side as well, this is for Never Have I Ever. So that's what we call base camp. You see there's a bunch of trucks and trailers over there. Anytime you're filming inside of sound stages or on our exterior sets on our property or even on location, which would be off property, you're going to have base camp. And base camp is going to be a centralized area where all of your trailers and trucks are parked. So your trucks that carry your lighting equipment, sound equipment, camera equipment are going to be parked there. The trailers that the actors go to for hair and makeup and wardrobe. These star wagons or the actors' trailers where they go in between filming are there as well. You might have seen names on the side of some of those trailers, like Fabiola or Eleanor. Those are characters in the show. So the actors actually, we don't put the actors' names on their star wagons. We actually just put the characters' names to give a little bit of privacy. But we keep base camp close to where we're filming, so we don't go too far in between filming takes. Never have I ever spoken to this right. Mindy Kaling, one of my favorite writers and actors. On the left-hand side here, you're seeing some bungalows. These are production offices for some of the biggest directors, writers, and producers that you can find in town. Like 7 Bucks Productions, which is on our left. That is Dwayne Johnson's production company, aka The Rock. In case you don't know who Dwayne Johnson is, they produce a television show called Young Rock, which is fitting. We also have Fremulon Productions on the lot. That's Michael Schur's production company. He's one of my favorite producers. He produced the American version of The Office with Steve Carell, Mindy Kaling, and Jenna Fisher, Parks and Rec with Amy Poehler, Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Andy Samberg, The Good Place with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. He also does a television show called Rutherford Falls, which stars Ed Helms from The Office and Janice Schmieding. But they film their exterior scenes on what we call our Metropolitan Sets. So I mentioned a minute ago that we have our front lot that we're on right now. So our front lot is where a lot of business happens, where a lot of interior filming will happen. So anything filming inside of a soundstage. Most of our sound stages are located here in the front lot. Our back lot, we're actually about to cross over into the back lot right now. That's where we're going to film exterior scenes on a really large scale. So the sets that you see kind of in front of you and to the left-hand side are what we call our Metropolitan Sets. We only film exterior scenes in these sets, and we only use these sets when we're trying to portray a major metropolitan area in the world, like New York, DC, Chicago, LA, London, Mumbai, Paris. Basically any major metropolitan area, we can decorate these sets to look like. Currently, these sets are being used for a television show which is called Quantum Leap. If you were around in the 80s or 90s, you might remember Quantum Leap as a television show starring Scott Bakula. They're actually doing like a reboot of it, and that's these tents and everything that you see here. All of that is set up for the filming that's happening on the sets. You can also peek down this street here, and you can see some of the cranes and whatnot that they're moving around. Those cranes will usually hold what we call scrims, which are like giant filters for the sun. If the sun is a little too bright, they'll put scrims up to kind of filter the sun a little bit to try and control it. Now, if we were inside of a soundstage, it'd be a little easier to control the lighting, right? But, you know, the sun is our natural light, so we only have so much control over it. Fast and Furious is basically, every Fast and Furious movie has filmed a scene out here over the years. How I Met Your Mother, Batman and Robin filmed out there, Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, the Minty Project, as I mentioned earlier. Very, very popular filming location. So you've probably actually seen those sets before in your life, you just didn't know what you were looking at. Taking you away from the concrete jungle, since we can't go into the concrete jungle today, we're going to head into a digital jungle instead, one known as Skull Island.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that.
Alright y'all, we're about to head into Skull Island right now. It is a little dangerous in Skull Island, so do me a couple of favors. Stay seated, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle, and pull the red cord over your head if you have any sort of emergency.
Back in Skull Island.
it up for King Kong 363D!
Yay! Woo!
Pretty cool stuff, huh? Did you get spit on by the dinosaurs? You did? Yeah? Well, you're welcome. Not everyone can say they've been spit on by a dinosaur, so it's kind of a big deal from university. So the screens that you were just looking at, those are some of the largest 3D screens in the entire world. And the magic that was projected onto those screens was made by Peter Jackson and his team at Weta Digital. Weta Digital is a New Zealand-based special effects company. They worked on movies like the Hobbit trilogies, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Avatar, of course King Kong. A little more recently, they worked on Wonder Woman, Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Mortal Engines, and the newest Suicide Squad movie. So if you've seen those movies, you've seen their work. Right, King Kong?
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Working on a movie,
We always know where the people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this, a lot of the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot, and this train that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
The original creation about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
So they were just talking about the tram, right? And I was driving around through Skull Island, and some of you may have even noticed part of our tram got pulled up on screen and into the action. Anytime an automobile is on screen, whether it's used or not, it becomes what is known as a picture car. If you're a fan of cars, you may want to get your cameras out, because you're about to see some of the most famous picture cars Universal has ever created here in our Picture Car Live. If you've been on the studio tour before, you might be noticing we have some new picture cars that we've added, like the Ford Anglia from Harry Potter, that pink Chevy Corvette. That's from Angeline, which is a new television show on Peacock starring Emmy Rossum. We also have a picture boat that we've added. That's the Crawdaddy. That was in Jordan Peele's movie Us. A pretty gnarly fight scene happened in front of it. And then there was a really big tan tank at the end of the picture car line there, right? That tank was used in Michael Bay's Transformers. And it looks pretty legit. Looks like something you might want to drive into battle. However, I wouldn't. Personally, I know the materials it's made out of, and they are not made for battle. They're made, that's made out of mostly plastic and plywood, that tank. So a lot of our picture cars, props and set pieces, they'll be made out of lightweight materials. Plastic, plywood, fiberglass, things like that, for a couple of reasons. One being to do stunts with. So that tank was picked up and tossed around by Decepticons, right, in the Transformers movie. It's much easier to do a stunt like that with a wooden version of a tank than a real military steel version, right? Another reason being they're cheaper. Usually it's cheaper to fabricate these prop set pieces, picture cars with those lighter weight materials, and a lot of the time we're only going to use them once or twice, right? We're not going to use Dom Toretto's 1970s Charger in any other movie other than Fast and Furious, right? But those were a lot of movies, so that might not have been a great example. But like the DeLorean, right, was only used in the 2 movies. Back to the Future 2, right? So that's the reason we did that. This next area, you're going to see some more picture cars. You'll see another picture boat. And if we're lucky, we might even see some dinosaurs. So keep an eye out.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yes, we are in the Jurassic Park section of the backlot. On the right-hand side here is a picture boat that was used in Jurassic Park 3. That starred Taya Leone and William H. Macy. On the left-hand side here, this is our mobile lab unit, this 2-piece camouflage guy right there. That was used in Lost World Jurassic Park, and just like the tank from Transformers, that mobile lab unit was used to do a stunt with. It wasn't picked up, but it was, oh my goodness. I did warn you to look out for those dinosaurs, but I didn't realize that they were going to be spitting at us, so my apologies, you guys. Cards 3 and 4 are going to done right about now. If you did get storm, don't worry, it's just acid. It's fine. You guys are good. So that mobile lab unit that I was talking about was used to do a stunt. So just like the tank from Transformers, it was made mostly of plastic and plywood. The walls of the mobile lab are just sheets of plywood. You might have even seen that they were held together with like tape and a prayer, right? Anything that was glass on the mobile lab unit is actually made of plastic, right? Those lightweight materials. So if you look at your screen, you're going to actually see the scene that the mobile lab unit was used for. It's being pushed over the side of a cliff. So we make a lot of our own things here in Hollywood. We make our own worlds inside the sound stages. We build our own picture cars for stunt work in the movies. There's no reason why we wouldn't also make our own weather effects. So we're going to give you a demonstration of how we make a rainstorm for the movies here in Old Mexico. We're going to set the scene for you. Got a little bit of thunder going, a little bit of lightning, right? Those are just speakers and strobe lights creating the ambiance of the rainstorm. Now we just need to cue the water to get the trifecta, right? Hey Joe, can you cue the water for me? Thank you. This is being made by using an overhead sprinkler system. So normally these sprinklers would face down towards, say, a fire, right? They shoot the water straight down towards the fire. What we do is we turn the sprinkler heads upside down. We put them on top of poles or on top of buildings. They shoot water into the air, and then that water falls down naturally, giving the appearance that you see here. Super simple, right? You could very easily do this effect at home if your future filmmakers on board. You could just do it outside so your parents don't get mad, don't want to get in trouble. Or if you're an adult, do it wherever you want. You're an adult. If you're an adult living with your parents, do it outside so your parents don't get mad. Because something like this might happen, and man, oh man, will you be in trouble. I did mention you get mad. This is one of those times. So the flash flood, not the rain, but the flash flood is actually one of the oldest attractions on the studio tour. It's been here since the studio tour opened about 57 or so years ago. It's a long time. Hopefully it's not the same water that we're using 57 years ago. So, actually, that flash flood was used in Big Fat Liar. If you want to see it, how it looks on screen, take a look at your screen.
You can't run the wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that.
So Paul Giamatti's stunt double just got rocked by that same water effect you just saw. A lot of actors in Hollywood, especially leads in television shows and movies, they will have stunt doubles to do their dangerous stunts for them. Because if an actor gets hurt filming a stunt, the whole production has to be paused. If a stunt double gets hurt, they just find another stunt double. Which is a terrible thing to say, but it's exactly how it works, right? And Brad Pitt played Leonardo DiCaprio's stunt double in a movie called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was directed by Quentin Tarantino, also starred Margot Robbie. Such a good movie. If you haven't seen it, please see it. If you have seen it, you saw these sets. That movie filmed in these sets for about 3 months back in 2018. They were here for a very long time. Normally, if you're filming like an episode of television, you'll be here for like a day or two, and they were here for 3 full months. They actually put like black material along all the ways you could see into the set, so we couldn't see anything that was going on, but still pretty cool. Angeline also filmed here when we went through the picture car lot. You may have seen that pink Corvette. It's a little hard to miss. It's like bright pink. That is from Angeline, and Angeline's actually based on a true story or a real person that lived out here in Los Angeles. I think in like the 80s, she's still around, I think, but she was big in the 80s because she wanted to become famous, so she put a bunch of billboards up around Los Angeles of herself, and that's how she became a celebrity. It's pretty interesting. And now there's a whole television show about her, and Emmy Rossum plays her, which is cool. I love Emmy Rossum. She's great. She was in like Shameless and Phantom of the Opera. She's a great actress. Some sound stages there on your left-hand side have been used for the voice of celebrity guest judge Ariana Grande, a new singing competition called American Song Contest, which is hosted by Snoop Dogg and Kelly Clarkson. Jordan Peele's movie Us filmed in those sound stages. making it with Nick Offerman and Amy Poehler, which is a crafting competition show. It's actually a really cute show. They use the sound stages, the parking lot next to the sound stages, and the body of water that's out in front of the sound stages. You'll be able to see it in this clearing of the trees right here. So that's just like kind of like a little pond or a little lake, right? That's actually was used though as the open ocean in Gilligan's Island, the movie, many years ago. The way we made it look like the ocean is we put little miniature boats in the water. You pull your camera out really far and it looks like big boats in the middle of a big ocean, but it's really little boats in the middle of a little pond. Forced perspective or optical illusions. It was also used at the creature from the Black Lagoon. This was back in the 50s. So that body of water's been here for quite a while. It's where we used to part the waters, if you've ever done the studio tour before. So the creature from the Black Lagoon, alongside Dracula, Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, the Wolfman, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, those were all classic Universal monster movies. And many of those monster movies filmed right here in what we call our European sets, or Little Europe, depending on how you feel. It wasn't all monsters though. These sets were used for many other movies and some television shows. Movies like Spartacus. There's a parking lot just between that blue building and that purple building on your left-hand side. That parking lot used to be called Spartacus Square, and the scene in Spartacus where all the guys stand up and they say, "I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus." I filmed over there. The street that we're on right now, this was Genovia in Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement with Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews. There was like a princess parade on the street. The fork in the road up there to the left-hand side, that street was Tortuga in Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp, Keira Knightley, and Orlando Bloom. This street was Paris, France, in a Muppet movie with Miss Piggy, Kermit, Jason Segel, and Amy Adams. And on our right-hand side, we're coming up on probably the most historical part of the European sets. This is what we call the Court of Miracles, and this is actually where Dr. Frankenstein's monster made his movie debut. He like burst through one of those archways to angry villagers with pitchforks and torches in hand, right? And Dr. Frankenstein's monster was the first movie monster to ever appear on film. So a lot of history right there in Court of Miracles. But after all of the monsters moved in and out, after it was Genovia, we turned the whole area into that good place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
No, the bad place does not sound awesome, but the good place is. I guarantee you that. If you want to check it out, it's on Netflix, and I highly suggest it. I'm not just saying that because it's an NBC television show. I'm saying that because I love it. I've already watched it 2 times through. I've been talking a lot about soundstages on the tour. I want to show you the inside of one, so you can get a feel for what a soundstage looks like when a set is built in it, right? So this is what we call a permanent set, which is kind of special. We don't usually have permanent sets, but this one is going to stay looking how it is. And obviously we're in a subway, right? So anytime we're going to film a scene that's set in a subway, we just, oh my God, that's probably some California trouble with this all the time. We just come down from soundstage, we did use a subway set. We'll be, okay, all right, you know what, this might be a real earthquake, so do me a couple of favors, stay seated. Pull the wet cord over your head if you have any sort of emergency. There's very obvious earthquake. I'm saying prayer for somebody you believe in. Okay, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Everything's fine. Part 3 and 4. I hope you're doing okay. There is a gas truck that just fell through the ceiling. And, oh, cool. Now it's on fire. Okay, cool. Tight. Whoa. Okay, earthquakes only last a matter of seconds, or at least that's what my therapist tells me all the time. Because probably shouldn't be sharing this with you right now, but being in an earthquake is one of my biggest fears. So just facing our fears today on the studio tour. Okay, this is just getting worse. You know what my therapist tells me to do when I'm panicking like this is that she says to count backwards from 5. So I'm going to try that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no. Okay, I think I made it worse. You guys, this is not great. I don't know if we're going to get out of this one alive. Well, that was close, but we did dodge every major catastrophe in here. I'd say that's pretty lucky. And hey, we didn't get wet. Shake it up in there. Obviously, that was not a real earthquake, you guys. I'm sorry. Looking around at those large-scale practical effects inside of Soundstage 50, we could tell they were fake, right? We were all having a good time. Hopefully no one was actually worried. Basically, the only things that were real around us were the fire and the water. However, if we use the right camera angles, throw some actors in there, use a little bit of movie magic, we can make those very fake effects look very real on film, right? Take a look at your screens. You're going to see a scene from an episode of Bone starring John Francis Daley that filmed inside of Soundstage 50 quite a few years ago. So much more realistic on screen, right? Now, speaking of things that look more realistic on screen, we are heading to Amity Island. It's that small New England town where that man-eating shark Jaws made his movie debut, and you might be worried about the shark. That's fair, if you're a man, because he's a man-eating shark, right? So everyone else we're fine. Men, you're on your own. Oh, look, there he is. That's a big old dorsal fin. Oh, look! You guys, he's got a diver friend. Look at that, he found a friend. Now they're playing. They're blowing bubbles together. Isn't that sweet? Aww. Screams of joy. They're having so much fun. Okay, well, kids, that red stuff in the water, that's just Kool-Aid. The diver, he was trying to drink Kool-Aid underwater and he spilled it, so. That's what that is. Okay, we're gonna get far away from the shark. Oh, you know what? Yeah, instead of going far away, we should park behind these flammable gasoline tanks. This seems... Seems about right. Yep. Okay, well, here's the thing. That water, or that fire is very distracting, but keep an eye out for that shark. You never know where he's gonna pop up next. You guys, that was Bruce, our mechanical shark. He got my front car pretty good. He got my front car pretty good. I didn't hear anyone else screaming, so, but I'm sure you were very, very terrified of our mechanical shark, right? You guys, or Bruce, you did a good job, Bruce. People are very scared of you. They're just hiding their fear behind their smiles, that's all. Bruce is an actor. He needs validation. We all do. So, our mechanical shark, Bruce, works day in and day out for us, never really gives us any problems. Steven Spielberg's mechanical sharks that he used for the filming of Jaws, none of them worked. Actually had 3. One of them sunk to the bottom of the ocean on the first day of filming. Not this little lake, like the real ocean off the east coast of the United States. That's where they filmed. The other 2, while they didn't sink to the bottom of the ocean, they caused so many problems during filming that the whole cast and crew nicknamed the production Flaws instead of Jaws. The Mindy Project filmed with Mindy Kaling, Hancock with Will Smith and Charlize Theron, and Parenthood with Craig T. Nelson. On the left-hand side here is our chicken ranch. This was built in the early 80s for a movie called Best Little Farms in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. It's one of my mother's all-time favorite movies. Also, one of mine. It's quite a throwback, though. Very, very old movie. But if you want to see the residential area of our lot that's used most for filming, most popular, you're looking at it. This is what we call Colonial Street, but if you've ever seen ABC's Desperate Housewives, you know it as Wisteria Lane.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighborhood.
So The Desperate Housewives was a wildly popular show for about 9 seasons. It starred Eva Longoria, Terry Hatcher, Felicity Huffman, Marsha Cross. It was such a good show. When I first started working at Universal, I watched most of the seasons, but there were 9 seasons. That's a lot of television to watch. It's a lot. They did a great job making it to 9 seasons. They probably could have gone further, honestly. There were plenty of other things that filmed down here on Colonial Street before the Housewives moved in and after they moved out, like The Burbs with Tom Hanks in the 80s, Casper with Christina Ricci in the 90s. Abby's filmed right here in this house at the end of the cul-de-sac. Abby's was a television show, a very short-lived television show starring Natalie Morales and my friend Kimya. I was really bummed when it went off air. It only got through, I think, like the first half of its first season. Occasionally, television shows just don't get the ratings they need to stay on air, but you never know until you try, right? So, you gotta try. On the right-hand side is a treehouse. That backyard area was used for the series finale of Superstore with Ben Feldman and America Ferrera. The house that was most recently used, and just even a couple of months ago, is this yellow house on the right-hand side here. That yellow house is used for Never Have I Ever, the television show that I talked about on the front lawn. So they film their interiors inside of Soundstages 42 and 43. And then when they're filming their exteriors, they come out here to Colonial Street and to Elm Street that we passed earlier to film their exteriors of their neighborhoods, right? So the yellow house in the television show is Davey's house, and Davey is the lead of the show. She's played by Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, and she's basically like just a young girl trying to get through high school, right? That's what the television show is about, just trying to get through high school. And if you think you're not the demographic to watch a show about a girl trying to get through high school, think again. I am a full-grown woman, and I love that show. It is so good. So the show's brought to us by Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling is one of my 1970s Charger from Fast and Furious. We also have Mr. Bean's little green picture car there by that double-decker British bus. They just added the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo. And my favorite picture car is Bumblebee, tucked back there behind that Furious 7 picture car there. And all of these picture cars, they tell you a story, right? Like maybe what part of the world we're in, like that double-decker British bus lets us know probably where we are, or what era we're in, like the 70s as opposed to the 40s as opposed to 2020, right? Picture cars, wardrobe, and set design are all visual cues filmmakers will give us to help fill us in on information in their movies and television shows. And an amazing filmmaker that was great at using visuals was the master of suspense himself, Alfred Hitchcock. He brought us movies like, Rear Window, Vertigo, The Birds, and of course, Psycho. And you guys, we are looking at Norman Bates from Psycho right now. He looks like he's in some sort of trance or something, doesn't he? I wonder what he's doing. I will say, he's put a lot of work into changing over the years, Norman Bates. He is a different person than he used to be, you guys. And see, look. For example, he is carrying his friend to the car because she probably fell asleep on his couch. Isn't that sweet of him? What a nice guy. Oh, wait. Well, not alive people don't usually go in the trunk. Hey, Norman, did you just put a body in a trunk? No? Okay, good. I thought I'd ask, but no. Okay, we gotta go, Mario. There was I don't know if you see what's in his hand, but okay, car 4, this tram tops out at like 7 miles an hour, so I don't know if you're gonna make it out of this alive. I'm terribly sorry to put you in this situation. How is it that the bad guy in every horror film can just like walk while you're running and somehow he keeps up with you, right? How he does it. What a psycho that guy is. If you look in the upper left-hand window of the Psycho house, you might be able to catch a little bit of what I'm warning you right now. She is what nightmares are made of, so you know, look at your own risk. She will forever be seared into your psyche once you see her. And why not? Let's do it again. Just like Mother is a nightmare, this next set we're driving through might be a nightmare for anyone that is scared of flying, so you might want to close your eyes if you're scared of flying for the next couple of minutes. This is the crash site set for Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. This is arguably one of the most impressive sets that we have here on the Universal lot. So we'll take a brief picture stop here. Feel free to take some photos. We are about 10 minutes away from the tour, so just as a reminder, if you need any guest assistance, go ahead and pull that red cord and remain seated. This movie came out in 2005. It starred Dakota Fanning, Justin Chatwin, and Tom Cruise. It was actually a Paramount film. So Paramount came out, rented these sets from us, built this, or rented this area, built this amazing set.
The airplane crash site is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
We took them to sit down and talk about the world. What if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. Eyes on me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now I'm closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Yeah, come on, Robbie. We got a tour to finish. Let's go. Chop, chop. So Steven Spielberg believes in realism, right? He believes in using practical sets like this one with real airplanes, real cars, real tangible things that you can touch, right? Some filmmakers, though, not all filmmakers are the same, some filmmakers prefer to use visual effects or a combination of visual and practical effects. Like Michael Bay, for example. If Michael Bay wanted to recreate that airline crash using visual effects, he would take his actors, Dakota Fanning, Justin Chatwin, Tom Cruise, throw them in front of a green screen, have them film the scene that you just saw, and then he would add the wreckage in post-production using computer computer-generated imagery, or as we refer to it, CGI, right? It is a little harder on your actors because they don't have as much to act off of, right? They're just standing in front of a green screen instead of in the middle of the wreckage. However, it's pretty impressive what we can get with computer-generated imagery nowadays. We can create anything in the known or unknown universe, honestly, and make it happen with computer-generated imagery. So, you know, you take the good with the bad. It's a little harder on your actors, but looks a little better on film, right? So we're about to head into one of our last attractions of the...
Look, this might be more serious than I thought.
Wait,
what just happened?
Agent Novak?
This is a secure line.
Hey, Agent Novak, I didn't tell anyone what was going on, so it's...
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight.
Yeah, you are.
I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge.
Very specific amount of time.
The hell you are.
Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come, and he'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
This is not your jurisdiction.
It is now, stink pickle.
I'm so tired of you state guys stepping in just whenever you feel like.
Mute him.
Okay.
Don't you...
That's better. We're moving your vehicle to a safe location until we have the situation under control. Until then, I want everybody to stay calm. Enjoy the ride. I'm taking care of business. Hobbs out.
Okay, well, cat's out of the bag, y'all. We didn't want to alarm any of you guys by letting you know that this Shaw guy was on our tail, so we were going to try and keep it under wraps until we got here to Sullivan's, but, you know, Agent Novak and all of them had to butt in and let the cat out of the bag. So that's what's going on. We are going to be heading into Sullivan's truck repair here in just a second. This is where Dom and his crew kind of like hang out when they're not racing, so hopefully someone will be there to take over the tour and kind of let us know what to do in the situation, because gonna be honest with you, I've never been in a situation like this, and I'm just a tour guide, so we will let them take over and see what happens after that.
My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while, so we brought you in our secret spot.
All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, I need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
FBI, don't move. Neil, that's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Man, let's just back up a little bit. I got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss. That ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, my whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. Just I'm in the minutes.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back. Man, it was on vibrate.
Sure, Trace does. I just can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Try to move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab the truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
We should also probably, make sure we're ready to roll with whatever comes our way. So, for precaution's sake, why don't you go ahead and put those 3D glasses back on? As with any other attraction, please stay seated, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle, and pull the red cord over your head if you have any sort of emergency.
This is Doc.
Hey, Doc.
Shaw's trying to get on the phone stretcher. Locked on the platform. Tell your passengers to hang on.
All right, you heard the man. Hang on, everybody.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get shot!
This is our turn. Okay, guys, it's showtime. Over there, up. This thing ain't moving fast enough. Roman, Lenny, hook him up. Now we're moving.
Dad, look out!
You give me the witness to it, I will call it a day! The witness is mine, Letty!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Find the claws!
Way to go, Letty. Not gonna happen. Don't worry. I got that. Oh, no, shoot. Head on the bridge. Under construction.
That was Fast and Furious Supercharged, y'all. We roll fast. We roll furious.
Good job, everybody. You protected the witness and you resume breathing.
You know what's crazy? Driver Mario and everyone here, thank you so much for joining us here today at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital.